All right. Hello, everybody. This is John Brown with another episode of Black Coffee here. Uh, this is a channel we have to address any needs you may have, any concerns in relationship to your children, playing sports, academics, whatever it may be. I'm the father of Amon Ra St. Brown, Equanimous St. Brown, and Osiris St. Brown. All three of my kids were in high school, 4.3 students. They took the SAT in three different languages: German, French, and English. Had football scholarships from every major school in the country. So we tried to dominate on the field and the classroom. So today we're here with my man Jonathan. How you doing, Jonathan?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having
So
me.
Jonathan, where you living at right now?
I live in North Carolina, Charlotte.
Okay, North Carolina. Okay. And
hmm
did you grow up there or?
No, sir. No, sir. Born and raised in Ohio,
Oh,
Akron,
is that right?
raised in raised in Canton,
All
Canton,
my
Ohio.
all my family members in Ohio, in Georgia.
Yeah, man. You know some of the best football players come out of
Yeah.
Ohio and
Did
Georgia.
you play football?
Yes, sir.
What position?
Uh, I kind of played all over the place. They call me the human tool. I played like defensive back,
Oh, okay.
linebacker.
You're an athlete.
Um, you could say that.
Yeah,
You could
yeah.
say that.
So I got some information here on your kids. Now, how many kids do you
Okay.
have?
I have three.
You have three, and boys,
Yes.
girls.
I have a 16-year-old daughter, and then I have a 3-year-old son who'll be 4 this December, and then I have a 17-month son, and his
Oh,
birthday is
wow.
in May.
Oh, look at that.
hmm
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay,
Bless.
and so uh, Osiris was sending me a thing about your child. Is that one of your
Yeah.
children or all of them to have the KCNQ2?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So my middle son, who's 3 going on 4 on December, his birthday is actually December 17th. He has the KCNQ2, which is a gene defect that he was born with.
Hmm. And it
And
causes seizures, to have
yes,
seizures
sir.
or something like that?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And he's the one boxing?
No, 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 no. Hey, listen, through God's grace, we'll get him to that point. And listen, even if it's just holding the mitts, I would be thankful. And we could dive into that. I'm very comfortable doing that.
Okay, so if you have any
Um,
questions, go ahead and shoot 'em. I'm ready for you.
yeah, but to fully answer your question, it's the young one, the one that's 17 months, that I'm projecting to be the professional boxer.
Oh, interesting. Now,
Yes.
why'd you choose boxing?
For various reasons. After vetting through several sports such as baseball and football,
Mm-hmm.
it was easy to eliminate basketball because two elephants don't make a giraffe. So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
um, I came to the conclusion that boxing would fit us best because we could control our destiny more, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
need a platform for
I
like
like that.
football and basketball. And it's everything has politics, right? So, and that's one thing I want to mention. Nothing I say is fully
Well,
absolute,
wait,
but
wait, hold
I
on,
kind of
hold on. Let me interrupt you. I want the people to hear what you just said. The man just said he wants to do boxing because you have control over that.
I have more control. Yes,
More
sir.
control. So please
Yes, sir.
pay attention to Jonathan when he says that because he's hitting the nail on the head here. Sorry to interrupt you,
hmm
but keep going.
No, no worries. And let me break that down a little more. What mean by more control is you need football and basketball, and which is fine. You know, you need their platform. You need the NBA. You need that to excel and have your profession. In boxing, I could become a pro tomorrow. You could become a pro. We just
Mm-hmm.
have to win. We have to petition, get ranked in the sanctioning body, and then our career takes off from there. So
Mm-hmm.
we have a little bit more control. And then from the fatherly side, the injuries. I feel like boxing, we can control and mitigate more of the injuries than like something like football would pose. And I say football because based on his height, he would fit more of a football than basketball. But I'm also
Mm-hmm.
considering baseball. I'm also considering baseball, but right now, boxing is at the top of the list.
Hey, my kids didn't box, but I like boxing because we all know if you become a champion, there's gold at the end of the rainbow for him.
Absolutely. And then, yeah, and you could get more control more of your career, and you could have a longer standing career. Um, but you have to put in a lot more work, far as the individualism in regards to the marketing and the
Now, are you
contracts and stuff.
finding where you live there's a lot of trainers?
It's a few sprouting up here and there, but with him being 17, I have to pace myself, and I'm hoping to get some guidance from you just on how the way you paced your boys. I think I have a pretty solid game plan, and we
When did
could
he
dive into
start
that.
boxing?
They start allowing them to spar at 8, 9,
Okay.
but he's gonna like. I'm not gonna initially start him out in boxing. Like we're gonna start out in wrestling, right? Well, let me back up a little bit. Right now, I
Mm-hmm.
have him working. I have him on a workout regimen.
Mm-hmm.
3 times a week, he runs on the treadmill. He does pull ups. He does push ups. He does squats, and we work the agility ladder three
Mm-hmm.
days out the week. I take on 2 days. Mom takes on 1 day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Once he's able to start competing in sports, we're going to start out in baseball and wrestling. I got him swimming, right, and I'm gonna put him in gymnastics. Those are like the first 3 sports I'm gonna put him in: baseball, wrestling, and like gymnastics. And then
At
about
17
time
years
he's
old.
around. No, at 17 months. He's 17 months. My son
Oh,
is.
he's
I have
17
a. I have a
months. I'm
seven.
sorry. This is 16-year-old
He's
girl. My
17.
bad. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I have a 16-year-old daughter, and then
okay,
a soon-to-be 4-year-old son who has the KCNQ2.
yeah. So what
So
you're
my
doing right now
youngest.
with all the different sports, I like it
Thank you. Yeah, to
because
develop his
here's the deal.
athleticism.
He's 17 months. At the end of the day, I would say when he's 11, 12 is when you got to decide
Yeah,
what
the hill
hill
to
you want to
die
live and
on,
die on at
and that's
that
going to
point.
be boxing,
And
and
at
that's
this
going to be
point,
boxing.
hey, all the things you're doing helps with his athletic ability.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
But
Now,
I want you to write
go
this
ahead.
name down because you probably won't know this guy.
Okay.
You ever heard of Ken Norton,
Yeah, Ken Norton Jr. or Senior.
the senior? He's a boxer.
Okay.
Fought Muhammad
Mm-hmm.
Ali, broke Muhammad
Mm-hmm.
Ali's jaw.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and that is Ken Norton Jr.'s dad.
Yeah.
I once went to a fundraiser and we were in the same limousine together, me and his dad, Ken Norton.
Okay.
And Ken Norton
Okay.
at this time had purchased a Gold's Gym. And he started working out. He started getting big, and I looked at him and said, wow, you work out a lot, right? He goes, I work out all the time now. He said something I'll never forget. He said, if I'd have known about working out with weights when I was fighting, I would have never lost. And back
Agreed.
then, the heavyweight championship was very difficult to capture because you had Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Ken Norton, Ernie Shavers. Uh, you had several guys in there, Larry Holmes. It was so many
Mm-hmm.
guys. So it wasn't like today. It was very difficult to even be in the top
Mm-hmm.
10. So he said to me, he goes, had I been lifting weights and boxing, if I'd have known about it, I'd have done both. I would have never lost.
I agree. I agree with that,
So
and
make
I
sure,
wish I could have did that. Go ahead.
make sure your boy, you got him lifting weights at an early age, early as 5 or 6 years old. Just pull up, push up, and stuff like that.
Yep, I agree. I agree. Like I said, at 17 months with the squats, just have him hold a 1.7 ounce weight in both hands, and I just help guide his body down in the squats, and he does about 15 to 20. I
Yeah, I
hold
mean,
his legs for the
just
pull
that's
up.
something like that. You don't want any weight
Yeah,
on his neck right now or his
no,
shoulders. I would
right.
never do deadlifts. I would never do cleans. Those exercises never ever do.
So, what would you do in substitute of those? Because that's part of explosiveness.
They tell you that, but it's not. Don't believe that. That's not
Okay,
true. That's a misnomer. So these guys tell you to make you explosive. No, it hurts your shoulders. And he wants to be boxing too. Oh no, you're
mm,
gonna weaken his shoulders. Don't do that. So just
Hmm.
sometimes in life, I believe, you know, you just got to do what you're told. I had a doctor explain this to me once why it was dangerous, but he was real technical, and I'm not a doctor. But cleans weaken your shoulders, and also
Hmm.
deadlifts. The risk outweighs the reward. A lot of kids, if a coach comes in there in high school, and some Division I coach comes in, he's watching the kids work out. Man, they'll put so much weight on that bar. I've seen a lot of kids pull their backs out. And once you hurt your back, you're done for a long time. Sometimes for the rest of your life, sports is over with. It's not worth it. And
Got
it
you.
does
Now let
not
me
make you
ask.
explosive.
Okay, and that's fair. Um, so like I said, I keep it very simple with them right now with the squats, the pull-ups. He does girl push-ups. He runs on a treadmill. I break it down in intervals, like we
Mm-hmm.
do either five minutes on, a couple minutes off, then 5 minutes on, up to 20 minutes. Or he can run now up to 10 minutes straight on the treadmill. I kind
Good.
of start at an incline. I don't go past 3 miles per
Mm-hmm.
hour, I guess you could say. We don't go past that.
Mm-hmm.
And but I do start at a kind of heavy incline, low speed at like
Mm-hmm.
1.5 or something, and then I lower the incline and push up the speed to about 2. And he could run at like 2.2 for like 10 minutes. And what I
How
do
many
is I
days a
put
week you doing these workouts?
3 days a week.
Okay, good. You don't want to burn him out. Let's talk about
Nah,
his
nah.
now.
But
He's working out a lot. How about his eating?
mhm. So I feed him steak and eggs in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
um, with potatoes and a little
Perfect.
peppers.
Perfect.
and and we give him protein, but what we do is mom make muffins and we put the
Mm-hmm.
protein in the muffins. We
Mm-hmm.
put the proteins in the muffin and he snacks on those throughout the day.
Perfect.
So in the mornings I feed him his steak and eggs or steak and sausage. I
Mm-hmm.
know you're
Mm-hmm.
more of a dinner for breakfast type guy, and I
Good. No,
am
steak
too.
and eggs
But
is.
this,
I love that. It's red meat.
yeah, so he eats that, and then I got him learning 4 languages right now. He's learning Spanish, Mandarin, sign language, American and Chinese, and then he's learning English.
Hold on. We got to back
So,
up. Let's back up. I want to talk about the language in a minute here. I like his
okay.
training. I like what he's eating. How much is he sleeping when he's not, let's say Friday night, he goes to bed. He doesn't have to be up early because there's no school. How much sleep is he getting?
Hmm. Plenty of sleep. So he takes 2 hour naps for sure. I try to make sure he takes 2 hour naps throughout the day. And I'm fortunate. I work from home. So I have
Mm-hmm.
an advantage over most parents because I get to work from home. So
Mm-hmm.
I try to have him in bed by 9. I want him in bed by 8:30, but mom is kind of,
Mm-hmm.
9:30 because of her routine in the morning.
What
But
time do you wake him up? That's the most important thing. Don't wake
I
him up
let him.
early.
He's usually no, not at all. He's usually on the weekdays. He's usually up by, I'll say, 11.
Perfect.
He's usually up around 11 on average, and he has his breakfast waiting for him. And then I turn on the videos and we interact with the videos.
Okay.
Like I said, we do.
Now you got to be ready for the world. You see, so what you're
Yeah.
saying to me, I accept, I endorse, but the world is going to be coming at you. So be ready for it. They're going to tell you a helicopter dad. You're living vicariously through him. Uh, they're going to come up with all kind of stuff, but you got to stay the course.
Yeah, and
Stay the course.
I'm comfortable in my skin, and like the thing, I'm not even worried about that because I mean people gonna have their opinion. What I'm more worried about is like him not like being a bully and him being a gentleman and him doing the right things in society because like I've seen his progression, like just for example on the treadmill and even with pull-ups because we do about 10 pull-ups a set.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want him noticing the gap that he has with his peers and becoming a bad guy. So I'm trying to make sure I install good principles and
Okay,
stuff and build the
so
relationship with him.
let's talk about that. I had the same situation. You want him to see the gap between him and his peers, 100%. You want him to see the
Okay.
gap, but then it makes sense why you doing what you're doing, and he'll push harder.
Okay.
But
I'm
you
with
got
you
to
there.
sit him down, not once, or frequently,
Multiple.
multiple
Absolutely.
times. Hey, son, here's what we're doing. Okay, this is why we're doing this. But you got to always be a gentleman. Instill the good things in him. how to be a good man,
No,
and
I'm
he'll
with you.
he'll follow suit. Trust me, he
Yeah.
won't break ranks.
No,
He'll develop into the man you want him to be.
yeah, no, I agree with you because I use your practice of like I make him tote the line, and like though he don't fully understand it now, but every day I tell him the purpose of why we're going out here to work out. He knows that it's serious when we get to the gym, and when we're out the gym, we have as much as fun as possible. But while
Mm-hmm.
we're in the gym, he knows to take it serious. Even though he don't fully understand, I have the cutout cardboards of like abs and shoulders and thighs and guys flexing, and I point to those things as we're doing the workout to let them know
Mm-hmm.
like this is what we're working on. um, so I'm with you there in regards to that. And then even outside the weight room, I find ways to interact fun with weightlifting because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the dad where it's like work hard or talk down on them. Like even
No.
in the weight room, I have patience with him. Like if I see he's not into it, we'll stop. I don't mind stopping right then and there and like let's just go do something else. But I try to make it fun. Like I said, when he's on the treadmill, I play Coco Melon in front of him, and I've noticed I got a different reaction when I do that. He runs
Mm-hmm.
harder actually, and he don't want to get off the treadmill because he's chasing the video.
Mm-hmm.
So I do little things like that, or
Mm-hmm.
I also start warming him up on the ladders first, like the cones and ladders, then
Mm-hmm.
put him on the
Mm-hmm.
treadmill. So I do that, but then outside of the weight room, I let him climb up and down the steps. We have carpet steps. I sit on
Mm-hmm.
the end of the steps and I let him climb up and down the steps. I throw the balls up there and say them in different languages for him to go get it,
So
or I
so
call out an animal.
so the languages.
Uh huh.
How are you teaching him these? What method are you
So
using?
we start out in the morning with ABCs because that's the basic principles. Well, first I started out with vowels. Like I got little blocks around the house, flashcards, just different modes to continuously implement the basics. I
Okay,
have
what
mom and
languages are?
sister,
Give me the what? Which languages is he learning?
Mandarin,
Mm-hmm.
Spanish, American Sign Language, Chinese Sign Language, and English.
So how do you? So let's say Mandarin. You have a
Okay.
flashcard.
hmm
Are you able to sound out the vowels and the consonants correctly where he understands where he's speaking it right?
Yeah, and I also use my resources like YouTube. I let him sit in front and we listen to the ABCs, but it's through songs because since he's so young, he interact with
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
songs and stuff like that. So
There's
it's
no
like,
Mandarin schools near you.
well, I've looked into it, and he's going to go into an immersion school when it's time. I've already looked into it, and we're going to put him in a Mandarin school. So what
Because
we're
that's the
doing
easiest
now,
way to learn it. When he's
yeah,
young,
we're
at 5 years old,
exactly
4 years old, stick him in
exactly.
there.
No, we're
And
doing it now. We're doing it now. We're doing
okay,
it now. That's why I wake up and I'm building the foundation now. And then when he goes into school, he's already gonna know his ABCs, his colors, in those different languages.
mm-hmm.
And then we're gonna go into an immersion school. So what I'm doing in regards to the immersion, I'm networking now because it's like a draft for some of those schools and you got to choose your languages. So I'm going to the
Oh,
events. I'm going to the events that they have for the parents to start to get my name out there and network. So when he's ready to get drafted, we've already got a name. They already understand the game plan. They've seen me
mm-hmm.
before. So I'm putting the work in now to set that up.
What about your daughter? Are you doing the same type things with her?
To be transparent, I wasn't as good of a father with my daughter as I am now with my young son. I was a good father in regards to roof over her head and like not
Mm-hmm.
being abusive, but I didn't have the mindset and the understanding that we needed to start early with sports. We needed to start early with school. Once I
So
came into her
what
life,
made you? Where'd you? What switch went on in your head where you said, "I got to change my mindset"?
just looking at my daughter and how she is at 16, like I understand I messed up by putting this in her hand. Like she would go in her room, shut the door, and have this. And I realized at 8, 7, 16, 17, some of the flaws on my part and mom's part that we ignored because, we were having the old mindset of just roof over head, don't abuse, provide food, clothes, let her make her
Okay, I
decisions.
need the audience to listen to you here. This man said that this right here was a bad thing, and I'm telling you, it is, in my opinion. Your kids don't need no phone until they're like 18. Why do you need a phone?
Mm-hmm.
If they need to call you, they can use their friend's phone if there's an emergency. I know what you're going to say. Well, there could be an emergency. Emergencies don't happen really. Okay, so don't worry about that. This is a bad thing because when they close that door and they go in that room, you know how many bad things are on this thing right here at their access? They have access
Yeah.
to everything in life from this thing
Mm-hmm.
right here. And now, if you don't do what Jonathan said, you're going to be competing against this. And this is like a drug. You'll never
Mm-hmm.
win that battle. So you got to start early. Don't put that
Yeah.
stuff in their hands. Don't even think about it. Go ahead, Jonathan. Sorry. But you're
Agreed.
100% right.
So like when it
I
really
hate them
stood
damn
out to me,
phones.
yeah, they could have its good purposes. Like I said, we use it. I use it to motivate my son on the treadmill. And I
Mm-hmm.
think there's points where they can be very advantageous. But I agree with you. For me, I learning from my daughter, I learned to be more hands on as well. Like what I call coaching from the sideline. Like I'm not the dad who like from the sideline or from the couch says stop that, don't do that. Like I get up and get active. For an example, as I mentioned, my son climbs up and down the stairs, and I sit at the end of the stairs and let him have his way with it because I understand it's also an exercise.
Mm-hmm.
But he's starting to get in a mode where he likes to skip the last step. And one day he did it and he fell because he missed it and he slipped and fell. And I'm like, see, I told you stop doing that. Stop crying. And mom was like, no, don't do that because he's expressing his feelings. I said,
No.
okay, fine.
No, stop crying.
I said,
You got
okay,
you got to
fine. But hear
raise. You
me
got
out.
to
So,
listen. You got to turn him into a dog.
okay.
He got to turn into a dog. You
Okay.
trying to do boxing? You better be a
Yeah.
dog. No, my son's
Okay.
crying with some silliness. I tell him stop crying. You ain't no little girl. Now if they don't like you, I don't care
Okay.
about the world and what the world is saying. They're all full of shit. They got it wrong because they got it
Okay.
wrong.
Cause
Look,
see,
if they got it wrong, that don't mean you got to get it wrong. No, when he's
okay.
crying for a stupid reason, you check him on that.
Okay. Okay. Good. I was thinking the same thing, but I don't, like I said, I don't want to be too much one way because I want to make sure there's a balance. You know what I
Well, the
mean?
balance comes when you got two hats. You got a coach hat. You put that hat on, he knows you're the coach. And when you're a father, you put the dad hat on, and you guys have fun. He will understand the distinction between the two, but don't break
Fair
rank.
enough.
Never break rank with the kid. Because like I always
Got you.
tell the people,
Got you.
hey, you teach him to be a dog. If you don't bite as a puppy, he ain't gonna bite as a dog. It ain't gonna happen. And it's up to you. And I wouldn't worry about him being disrespectful. When you teach him, sit him down and tell him the rules in your house and what you expect and what it's like to be a man, he'll follow suit. He won't break
Yeah.
ranks.
No, I'm with you. I don't give him much choice or anything like that. Like it's not about him having choice or what he wants. I know I have to set the tone, and I know that his success is very dependent on me. I have to do my part, and I'm willing to step up to the challenge. I
100%.
have. Yeah, so I know, like for me, I understand that 1 through 6 is the most important time, and I understand that like what he's going, like for instance, if he starts sparring at 8, I already know how I want that to even come about, and I'm thinking about it now. So as we get close to that time, I'm just revising the plan as I'm getting wiser as I grow. So in regards to sports, as I mentioned, I probably won't introduce boxing to him until probably like around late 2, early 3. I'll let him watch me do it, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to force. I don't want to force it on him. So I'll let him watch me because I didn't get a chance to show, but I have a gym in my garage. So I have a treadmill, a power rack. I have a heavy bag, a double end bag, a speed bag. So we got everything we need in our gym,
Mm-hmm.
and I set it up. I set it up that way.
Mm-hmm.
I built my gym for him, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest with you.
But here's the
So,
key. Here's the
so
key to his success. Never forget this. When you're lifting weights, you're not lifting weights to be explosive, all that old crazy shit they tell you. You lift weights to
okay,
get strong.
got
He's
you.
lifting weights to get stronger than his opponent. Period. Because why am I saying that? Some guys go in the gym, they got explosive movements, and they do kettlebells, and they do all this other bullshit because it's easy. You see, you need to do old school bodybuilding movement, bench curls, uh, bench press, curls, triceps, bent over rolls, squats, this basic stuff. Stick to the basics. Don't do all that cute stuff. The ropes. What is that for? I don't even know what that's even for. It's
They
so
say for endurance.
well shit. You can run for endurance,
Exactly. Exactly.
right?
And jump rope.
So
I'm a big fan
so
of jump rope.
yeah, jump rope is for endurance. But when you lifting weights, if he's a good boxer and he's stronger than everyone else, he'll be more successful. Because I have a
Exactly.
neighbor who's into boxing. He told me that Carnelo is really into weightlifting,
Canelo, yeah. Well,
right?
speaking of which, yeah, when we do start, I plan to take him to Mexico, Dominican Republic, Japan, China, and spar and train with
Yes.
those other races. We're going to
Hold
do
on, hold
that
on. Every now and then
before
I
the
gotta
summer.
stop you. I gotta stop you every now and then. He really said he want to take him around the world. What this man is saying is he's all in. In order to give your child the maximum, to get maximum outcome, you have to be all in as a parent. You got to go the extra mile as a parent. If you're not willing to do that, it's a second job. It could be your primary job. If you're not willing to do that, your outcome won't be as good. Sorry to interrupt you, but I love that. That's what I was doing.
No,
Stuff like that.
yeah, and it's also going to help strengthen his making sure that he learns the language, especially Spanish, because I think that'd be helpful in the sport that we go into. Um, So, like I said, I'm already like my job allows me to fly, so I'm saving up those miles to
Mm-hmm.
utilize towards that. I'm looking into different Airbnbs and different boxing gyms. Like I'm planning that stuff now, so that when we get to that point, like I said, all I have to do is fine tune. But even your suggestion with like a jug machine, I've been looking at some because I'm gonna get them and use them for tennis balls to help him with like his reflexes and
Mm-hmm.
blocking and movement. So as you mentioned, just being all in is something that I'm totally in because I would like for him to go be ready to go pro at 15, but not go pro until like 17, 18.
Or he may fall in line where he's going to the Olympics, representing the United States.
Yeah, and the only reason why I didn't say that is because they're talking about taking it out of the Olympics.
Ah, these people.
Yeah, I know.
These
I
people. You
know.
see, they're trying to kill masculinity. I don't know what that's all about. You know, even the Hulk. I go to the movie. It's a comic book character. Why are they going to have the Hulk crying in the Avengers? The Hulk don't cry. They're trying to do
Right.
everything to kill off masculinity. Don't let that stuff happen. You stay true to what you're doing. Keep your boy strong. Keep your boy in the gym. If he's crying for some stupid stuff, tell him to shut that down. He got to learn to be tough. Because this world don't give a crap about anybody. Because he's gonna
Speaking
have
of
a
which,
life after boxing, after sports, and he better be mentally prepared to deal with that.
I'm glad you actually brought that up. So I have a question for you. With your boys, I feel like all three are successful, but primarily the two that are in NFL. How did you set them up for that success, specifically financially? And then what about life after sports? Are they ready to transition after that, and how?
Here's what I told him. I've done a lot of things. I've seen a lot of things. When you're in sports, you're making money. You have
Right.
a good lifestyle, but that's short lived. You hear
Hmm.
athletes losing their money. Nothing lasts forever, is what I teach them. I had a great business. I've been in business for a long time. I mean, great is relative, but let's say I was making over $2 million. Let's just say that a year.
Hmm.
So, but the thing that was constant and the thing that was in my life to protect me financially was always real estate.
Right.
Businesses, there was an airline company called TWA is gone. The BlackBerry was the most amazing cell phone ever. First for cell
Wow.
phone that was a computer. Everybody wanted it. Where is it now? Nothing lasts forever. One day Amazon would be gone.
Hmm.
So I teach my boys, listen, the thing that I know that helped me was real estate. Buy real estate, invest in real estate, Don't get over leveraged, but don't be dumb. You gotta be smart now. So they did that a lot. We're doing a lot of real estate. They diversify in stocks and stuff, but stocks is in my opinion is dangerous because that thing can go up and down. Real estate can go up and down, but you know what? When real estate crashed in 2008, no one knocked on my door or said to any of the students at USC, "Hey, you know what? The real estate market has crashed, but we're going to give you a discount on your rent." They never give you a discount on rent. Rents always go up no matter what the market looks down. Your house may go down. We buy to never sell. We buy to never sell. When you
Yeah.
sell, it's a kiss of death to me. So you buy your real estate and you hold on to it. Rents
I
never go
agree.
down. So I teach my boys that, to make sure I take them around with me. We look at real estate. We get out the car. I discuss it with them. Why am I buying this? What I think is good. I always tell them that. Now, here's another thing I'm going to say. This may sound a little crazy, but this is the real truth. Hold on. I don't know why. I have an opinion, a theory. Almost every house I purchased, my wife said I shouldn't buy it. Then it was interesting to me. I said, wow, why did they say that? I have friends have 30 units or even more. They said the same thing. Their wives told them not to buy. So I told my sons, look, a mother, a woman, she's trying to protect the nest. I think it is. I think it's their innate protectionism where they think holding the money is the best thing to do, not to take a risk and buy real estate. And so they say that. Why am I saying this? If you're listening to what I'm saying out there, if your wife or your spouse, your mother, your girlfriend tell you not to buy, just let them say that and let it go in one ear and out the other because they're just trying to protect the nest. But they don't realize that's not protecting it. It's hurting it. So you always buy the real estate. Don't listen to these females. Not all females are talking like that, but a lot of them. So I don't know why, but it happens. So I tell my sons, look, at one point you're going to be married and be careful. If you think you should buy some real estate, you buy it. You're a smart kid. You look at the market. We're not to get cheated or buy something too high when it should be lower. So I love, love, love real estate. This is one of the things I instilled in my children.
Agreed. No, I agree. So that just let me know I'm on the right path. I myself has two properties, and I, through the grace of God, I've had my mental fortitude to put my family in a good position. So that has predicated and parlayed to my son not having to have the mindset of getting his family out the hood or retiring his parents because I put that work in. He solely focused on being a great athlete, greatest
Mm-hmm.
boxer ever. And then I agree with you with the property and my mindset. And this is for the people. I agree with the buying property. I look for three things when I buy property. I look for a good school because most people want to live in a good school. I look for
Mm-hmm.
low tax rate, low tax,
Mm-hmm.
and I look for low crime. If you can
Mm-hmm.
get those three things in one, you're going to find typically a good property. And those were the two things I found in both of my properties, the home that I
Mm-hmm.
live in now, and then the home I have like 45 minutes away that I'm renting. So I agree with you with the rental property. And that's something that I'm teaching my son. I also have like a Roth that I've started for me and my wife, my daughter, and then my son is going to get a Roth. And
Mm-hmm.
I also invest in mutual funds and ETFs, and that's what I'm going to have my children do. Like
Mm-hmm.
one thing that athletes do is they make a mistake with leaving a lot of their finances in an account, and it's just sitting there. And that's the shoe money in the shoebox or under the mattress mentality when you should invest it.
Yeah,
So
you gotta invest, especially if you're an athlete, because as you're
yeah,
playing, that is the only time you have buying power. The bank's not gonna finance a home if you don't have a job, and you're only
exactly.
playing for so many years. So you got a small window as an athlete to buy as much real estate as you can, but you got to buy it in the right place, in the right real estate.
Hmm. Hmm.
I live in
Hmm.
California. Now, I'm sure there's other areas around the globe that are very similar to California, but if you buy property in Los Angeles, the rent laws are crazy, but the
I
property
bet.
goes up like crazy. It's almost
Yeah.
impossible to lose if you buy in Orange County. But I have guys coming to me and telling my sons, "Hey, why don't you invest in Austin, Texas?" No, no. Oh, they say we don't have no state income tax, but the property tax goes up real high. They reevaluate
Exactly.
your property tax every year. I'm telling you right now, I would not buy in Austin because I went out there and I checked some properties, and mathematically it didn't pencil out. It did not pencil.
Yeah.
So if you can get stuff, I don't care if you live in New York or if you live in North Carolina, you buy some property in California, you'll never forget it. It's your
Hmm.
retirement plan.
Agree. Agree. I also like to buy new development if available, first or second phase, but that's just me. But as you mentioned, with boxing, the other challenges that I see is like I'm gonna have to do the marketing. And one thing that I picked up from you is you were talking about how you go to different 707 or football games to find out the beat riders. So with my daughter in high school and wanting to get into athletics, I'm utilizing that to get some of the beat writers' contact information so they can still write about my son as he goes through, but
Mm-hmm.
do segments on
Mm-hmm.
boxing. And I'm gonna give this one away, but I noticed looking on like Max Preps 247 and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, they got all sports listed, but
Mm.
nothing on boxing.
Maybe you could open that door.
Exactly. So what I've been teetering is, do I try to get that door open now so it's a strong platform for when my son get ready, or do I just strongly pursue it when his time is ready? Because the thing that I'm dealing with is the patience. He's only 17 months. Like he can't go pro tomorrow.
No,
So
no.
I'm thinking of stuff every day, how to improve. Like, for example, I do evaluation on myself. I evaluate myself. Am I being a good father? I go over situations that occurred through the week
You
and
have
see,
to.
did I handle it the right way, and what are better ways that I can handle it. Such as I had mentioned the steps thing, and I do agree with you correcting me. But on the flip side, and I would like your thoughts on this, he's breastfed, and the only way he knows how to communicate mainly is they whine. So he was chasing mom around the house, wanting to get some breast milk, and she told him to wait, and he jumped on the bed and started kicking his feet. So instead of me yelling at him, my thought process was just to redirect the energy and like go work on ABCs or go read a book, and then when mom is ready to get the milk. Is
So
that the
if it's
right way?
me, I would say, come here, come here, come here. Sit him down. Say, look, I understand what you want. You're gonna get it, but that kicking your feet and acting crazy, no, that's not how we don't do that around here. Yeah, let you know we don't do that. So you need to knock that off right now. That's part of being a man. So you got to nip that in the butt right away. You don't. And there's no yelling. You just let him know, hey, with a stern, serious attitude, we don't do that here.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and
No,
he'll stop
I'm
it.
with you. Okay, I'm with you there. And
So,
he's pretty
what about
good.
your daughter?
Mhm.
Is she doing sports? You said.
She started out in volleyball her freshman year. She's a junior now,
How tall is
and
she?
like pretty much 5'8". I'm
Okay.
5'9". She's 5'8", and mom's like 5'7".
Wow, she's tall.
Yeah, but I let her quit, and she hasn't done it for a year now.
So, what
Um,
about her schooling, her education? How's her grades?
Her grades are decent. They're not straight A's like they should be, and that's another reason why I'm starting early with my son, because I realized that we dropped the ball on how we went about with her schoolwork. It was do the best that you
Mm-hmm.
can. We'll get tutoring here or there, more reactive instead of being proactive. So I've
Mm-hmm.
learned from those mistakes, and with her, it's just now more about another thing that I see is that she's 16, so she has her own mind, her own
Yes.
thoughts.
Yeah.
So it's hard to kind of control that. That's another reason why I'm getting ahead of it now with my son, because I see with her, like, I find myself more compromising, like, or suggesting, because she's close to being her own adult. And she's
Yeah.
helped me realize your window is 18 years. So when
Mm-hmm.
your child is 10, they're halfway through.
Yeah.
So,
You
like
lose
I
them
was
to the
saying,
world. But
exactly. So,
not that you have. Please don't take this wrong, but don't give up on her. She's still adolescent,
no,
a
no,
young
not at
young
all.
lady trying to find her way. And even with my sons when they turned 16, they didn't really buck the system, but I could see them, having their own opinion, and I let them have it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
okay. I
Yeah.
said, look,
Yeah. So
like with her, I would tell her I don't have a daughter, but I wish I did actually. But if I did, I would go, hey, you know what? If we have a disagreement, I said, okay, I think you should do it like this. You think you should do it like that. You choose, and we'll see the outcome.
see the
Now,
outcome.
if I
Yeah.
were you, I would listen to me. You have two choices: listen to you or me, and I would listen to me. But I like that you're trying to figure things out, and you got to fall and get up in order to learn.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing that she's going against what you're saying in a way, because that's going to make her
Yeah.
stronger.
Yeah, and one thing that I want her to realize is like she's a part of this team. Though I want my
Mm-hmm.
son to go pro, we need her. So like one thing that I want her to understand is like when you're with your brother, don't just be on this. Don't just be glued to the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Use your phone to work with his ABCs. Use your phone to do some sign language with him.
Mm-hmm.
Use the blocks to go over his ABCs because the more he gets it, the better. And then this helps prepare you as a mother. So that's kind of the way I've been trying to, relate to her. And also, I know that her interest is being in like sports medicine. So my
Oh,
thing
listen.
is, let's start that now. Um, I don't know if she's quite ready for a university, but I do believe in a college. Not college is for everyone, but education is. So even if you don't go to college, learn a trade. But I do
Mm-hmm.
think like starting out at a community college may make more sense from home.
I
And then
love
if we
that.
do well from there, go to a university. But the main thing, and I want parents to understand is just because my daughter turned 18 or my son turned 18 doesn't mean they have to leave home. They know that they
Thank
can
you.
always be home
Wait, hold
until
on,
they're
hold on,
ready.
hold on, hold on, hold on. I got to back you up. Just because they turn 18, they ain't got to leave home. People, listen to what this guy is saying. This is correct. I hear so many folks saying, "Oh man," they make jokes, but I don't know if they're serious. Oh man, I can't wait till they get out the house. Yeah, man, when they're 18, man, I'm gonna throw them out. I can't wait to throw them out. That's the weirdest thing I heard, even as a joke. You look, if I tell my kids, you can stay at my house as long as you need to, but as long as you putting in the work, because you need to
Exactly.
save your money by living with me
Hmm.
for free. You can save your money to buy your own house. No one can buy a
Yeah.
house these days unless they have help from their parents somehow.
Hmm.
Get free rent. I love my kids. Why would you not want your kids around you? People say that, I don't know, they must hate their kids.
No, they just don't know no better, right? They're going off what they were taught. But the key thing you said, like she's not just staying here, but she's living rent free. But I do have requirements, like you're saying, like you must invest 60% of your check, and then you can utilize the other to do whatever. But then
Yeah,
also, I want to let her know that she can be an adult at home. You can have a relationship, you can come and go as you please, just respect the rules. But I don't want to make it miserable for her either while she's
right, right.
here. And it's like you're living under my roof. Nah, like I want her to be comfortable because like you said, when she leaves here, I want her to have a home. And she knows she can have the current property that I have, but I would like to have more properties to give off to my children.
Yes, yes. Well, I can
So
tell you. What about your other son, who's has the
has the
what do they call it?
Casey and Q2.
Casey and Q.
Casey and
Let the people know what that is, please.
thank you for asking about that. And if I didn't say it, thank you so much for your platform and thank you for what you're
Mm.
doing for the families out
Oh,
there.
no problem.
Uh, I think it's a beautiful thing, and you've helped me, right? It's I thank all the families that's come on thus far, the dads. I salute y'all,
Hmm.
and I wish y'all the best in y'all endeavors. Hopefully, I'm giving information that you can utilize, but I'm rooting for all y'all and the future fathers that come on.
Hmm.
Um, but in regards, and mothers, and I love to see families that are united. Thank you so much for promoting that, and thank you to the wives who
Oh,
are
no problem,
supporting
brother.
because you guys mean a lot.
Hmm.
Choosing the right wife matters. But in regards to my son, like you said, he has Casey and Q2, and to define that for the people, within the first 2 weeks of his life, we identified that he was having seizures. His was on the second week of his life,
Hmm.
so we had to take him into the hospital. where they were running tests and stuff, and they ended up doing a brain scan on him, and we found out that he had the gene defect. It
Mm-hmm.
was something that happened as he was forming.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what it does is you are epileptic, so you're prone to seizures. So when
Mm-hmm.
they do the EEG scan, a normal brain is like a EEG, EKG or whatever. It's do. His is like a kid scribbling. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So when we were able to subdue the seizures at the time, we found out that there was still an after effect, and it was like low muscle tone. So like my son at going on 4 can't even sit up. Like if I was holding him right now, he'd have his head down. He
Mm-hmm.
can't lift his hands.
Mm-hmm.
Speech delay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and his audio, he can't really speak. So he does therapy 4 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
Not 4 times a day, excuse me, four
And he's
days
three
out the
years old.
week. Yeah, he
Mm-hmm.
does it 4 days out the week. Physical, occupational, speech, and then he does a combination of the two. And then he takes medicine twice a day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Something to control, 2 medicines to help control his seizures in the morning and afternoon. But even with that, you've helped me. Well, let me back up. So me being vulnerable, it was a hard thing to accept. But the fighter in me was just like, we're gonna do the best we can to make the
Mm-hmm.
best out of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So after I got done like soaking and feeling sorry for
Mm-hmm.
myself, I thank God for the quick pivot, because one thing that I was unfortunate but fortunate, I grew up without a father. So
Mm-hmm.
I always said that I'm going to be there for my kids, like a
Mm-hmm.
marriage through sickness and
Mm-hmm.
health. I just didn't know my kid was going to look like this, but it's
Mm-hmm.
all good. It's humbling. And, we're fighting. And that's what I'm going to use Caden, KJ, to help promote through boxing. Like that's another thing of what he's fighting
Yes.
for, to bring awareness for his brother.
Now,
And he's
I,
also
I I heard somewhere that sometimes certain defects like this, genetic disorders, can be not completely take eliminated, but food. Does that is this, have you played around with his diet?
It's a good question. We feed him because he can't really, like, he's doing physical therapy to help work on his chewing.
Mm-hmm.
We try not to give him too many solids. We do
Oh,
more
okay.
like sweet potatoes,
Mm-hmm.
and then he has this type of protein milk that he
Mm-hmm.
gets. So we give him more liquids than solids. We dabble with it here and there, like a strawberry, something that he can mush and then it dissolves, so
What's
he
his
don't
name?
choke it. But Josiah Elias Sims.
Josiah.
Josiah. And
I
then my
tell you,
youngest son
I can commend you for as a father going through that. It must be tough and challenging, but I commend you to be able to have the courage to continue, don't stop, and not to give up, and accept him for who he is. And it takes a lot of courage. Now, the fact that you're doing all this and you have a child like that, I don't want to hear nothing from any other parents who have kids who are completely capable and they're doing nothing. I don't hear anything from you. Josiah's out there fighting every day for his life, and his dad's out there fighting to keep him healthy. Look, and you taking care of your daughter and your other son. Your plate is full. So I don't hear nothing from any parents to tell me that, oh, well, I'm busy, I'm just saying, no, you're lazy. Period.
Yeah, no, and please, people don't think that like this was something that would happen overnight. It was plenty of times, especially in the beginning, where I cried. I blamed myself. I mean, JB, I would. It was one time where I just looked at myself in the mirror and
Mm,
and tried to figure out through myself what happened. But
mm.
you know, over time, an alpha male understands that what a challenge is, and this is nothing but another challenge. And through
That's
your
courage and
fellowship,
spirit. That's good
yeah,
courage and good spirit.
through your fellowship, and why and just having the fighting spirit, what I start doing is studying the physical therapies that he do, and we
Yeah,
do
that's that
those things at
research.
like late at night. So like late at night, because I feel like he has sleep apnea because he stays up. While he's
Mm-hmm.
up, we exert the energy doing tummy time. I
Mm-hmm.
bought him a standard. So I put him in the standard. And at first, like I would
Mm-hmm.
put him in there every now and then I graduated to like every day, and now we do it twice a day. So when Caden, which is my 17-month son, I call him KJ or Stu,
Mm-hmm.
something truly unique. Um, while he's having class, like watching a Spanish class or Mandarin, Josiah's in the standard right next to his brother.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's even unique seeing that bond because like if Josiah's in the standard and like his head fall to the side,
Mm-hmm.
Caden would run by him and like try to lift his head up
Mm-hmm.
to put it back in position.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's starting to understand a little bit what his brother is going through. And I make him get down there with me when we do tummy time with
Yes.
Josiah
Yes.
so he can have an understanding of what's
Yes.
going on in health.
Well, look, love what you're doing. God bless Josiah and your family because that's a tough thing, man. Look, it's hard for me as a father to deal with on a daily basis, that my son Osiris hurt his foot in high school. Just that kills me. The fact that he should be playing in the NFL like his brothers and he didn't have the opportunity because of an injury, that kills me every day I wake up. I think about that. I can't get that out of my mind. And what you're going through is like 1,000 times worse. I commend you, man. My hat goes off to you because I'm just listening to you. You know, you're a strong man. Your spirit is good. You know, you're courageous. I love it. It's fantastic.
Thank
Yeah.
you, and I appreciate your platform for me to bring awareness. Like, please don't feel sorry for me because God has blessed me
Mm-hmm.
tremendously. Like I said, I have two homes. The first home I have is like a 3 bedroom, and this home is a 5 bedroom. So, like, by no means am I looking. Is this a pity? This is just an awareness, and to let the world know
Mm-hmm.
that we're coming, and we're coming to dominate.
Mm-hmm.
And when we have our opportunity, we're going to take it. And I'm doing everything that I can now as far as networking and putting my children in position all to be successful. And that's just what it is. But on the lighter note, some questions I wanted to ask you. Um, you know, we talked about your son and their current future success, but we talked also about our significant others.
Mm-hmm.
You ever thought about bringing your wife on and having a conversation with her so that people can get a viewpoint from her
Yes, I
vantage?
have. She's a little shy, you know. She's a little shy. I don't know how. I asked her before. She goes, "Well, I don't know if I can. I want to do that, you know."
Hmm.
But she has. I would like to have her on because I'm sure there's a lot of questions that people have for her.
Yeah.
So she's out of town right now. She's in
Okay.
Europe, and so when she gets back, I'll tell her again and press upon her. I think she should come on, you know. But
Yeah.
you know, look, I like talking to people, trying to help people out. The I want to talk to. I had a female on the other day, but I love to talk to a single mom or
Single mom.
Caucasian family because there's
Hmm.
different challenges they face. You know,
Yeah.
I think some
Yeah.
Caucasian people, some white folks, there's in football, there's racism, reverse racism against their kids because they're
Hmm.
white.
Yeah. I
I've
agree.
seen that.
I agree. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and I ain't
I
with all that. So I would love to talk to a white parent. Call me up. Let's see what you got going on, what you challenged with, and how you gonna deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
No, I agree with you. Do you have a favorite episode so far?
you know. It's a good question. There's so many of them. I can't remember them all. I mean, the
I
one
like
that stands
I
out,
like the Cam Newton.
the Cam Newton stands out because he's Cam Newton, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and
but he dropped a lot of jewels in that one.
he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did, man. So that's probably my favorite one with Cam Newton. You know, and I like
Yeah.
I like it when we get in person conversation with folks when I used to go into their homes because I'm
Yeah.
looking
Yeah.
right at them. You know,
Well, maybe in the future we can connect again, and it'll be like an update on where Caden is and
yes,
Josiah
an
and my
update
daughter's in Aiden.
exactly. But I
I would
tell
love
you,
to come back.
I want to make sure everyone, you know, subscribe to the channel if you hear something you like. You want it because you get notifications to make sure you're up to date on everything because you never know when you're gonna be faced with a lot of challenges. I'm gonna tell you right now, and you never know when you're going to hear something, go, wow, man, that's exactly what I need to hear, because I was in that situation. And when I was in it, I didn't know how to deal with it. So, I dealt with a lot of things coming up. Me coming from Compton, I was in the household with my mom and dad. Didn't know that was a privilege. I thought it was normal, but we didn't have much. Sometimes we lived day to day. I had a hard life. There's a lot of gangbangers running around the city shooting people. I've been shot at. I had guns pulled to my head, to my temple. So
Mm.
I went through a lot of stuff. And if I can make it, and my kids can turn out to be who they are, your kids can turn out to be who you want them to be. That I guarantee you.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, if I had time, I would say my life is not the rule. I guess it's been the exception, but I want to make sure that my kids have pretty much the rule in regards to like middle class lifestyle, but understand, the other side of the fence. And the only reason why, well, I will say this, with my son doing wrestling, I know you had mentioned taking kids to the hood so they can get tough.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like wrestling is a good
Oh yeah,
balance?
wrestling and boxing, two toughest things on the planet. Period. You think you're a tough
Okay,
guy? Let me see you get on a wrestling match with a wrestler, and let's see what you are in 30 seconds. Not 30
I'm with
minutes,
you.
30 seconds. You'll be done. We'll see how
So,
tough you really are in 30
so long
seconds.
as I keep him in that, I don't have to worry about the bark and bite. I got you. I got you.
All right, so
Um,
look, the time is up right now, my brother. But it was a
absolutely.
pleasure talking to you, and my thoughts and prayers go out to your family, especially Josiah, man. So keep that up. You're doing the right thing, in my opinion. And if you have some other questions, don't hesitate to give us a call. Give my son a call, because there's going to be things to say in the next year or 2 years. Something's going to happen where you're going to be challenged. You're going to go, man, how do I deal with this? But most of the things you're doing are right. So just make sure
Thank
you keep communicating with your son, and even your daughter, because when they hear you talk, you'll be amazed how they're listening, and especially the young ones. Man, shoot, I expect to see them winning some gold medals, or if they leave it out, if they kick it out of the Olympic, I want to see him messing with Floyd Mayweather and them boys.
you. You will.
Give you some
I promise.
information.
Hmm.
All right. Well, again, thank you for coming on, my brother, and
Thanks for having me.
we'll talk to you when we talk to you.
Absolutely.
All right. Yes, sir.